I wanna scream and shout and let it all out. And scream and shout and let it all. How do we even start? How do people want me to start this? I tell you how to start this. Let's describe what just happened. You're out. It's a Saturday afternoon. You're out with your family. You go in a park, prepare your picnic, massive walk, beautiful walk in the middle of nature, in the middle of wildlife and all of that, with all of your family members, happily all together. And then before picking out the things you eat before the picnic, you go, shit, I forgot my wallet at home. And that ruins your family picnic. Shambolic. We had the final in our hand. We had one job, which was not to get thrown out before the final. And what do these players do? They get thrown out by the last team in the league. I don't get how we start this. First thing, I want my money back. I was freezing yesterday. 9 p.m. on Thursday evening. I have school the next day. Give me my money back. That's all I'm asking. Give me my money back. The second you give my money back, then I'm happy. But where do we... let's start by saying this. Everyone is to blame after yesterday. Everyone. Every single component of this team has to be blamed. And this is, part of this match reaction is kind of listing out all the blame. And let's start. First to blame, Mourinho. Because I'm sorry, I love the guy, but you do not start with that lineup in a quarter-final of a cup you want to win. It's a killer game. You know that it's an all-in game. You win, you're through, you're out, you lose, you're out. You cannot start with that lineup. You just can't. You can't. Because starting with that lineup in such a game means that you don't give a shit about the tournament. And to be honest with you, with the amount of luck which we had, that both Milan and Napoli got thrown out, we had it, and we had one job, and we bottled this job. So first things first, the team yesterday, shambolic. You cannot start with that team. Or unless, if before the game, Mourinho would have told me, I don't care about Coppa Italia, I would have understood that pick. I would have understood why Mourinho picked that. But this is a tournament which we cared about. This is a tournament which we wanted to win. And I'm sorry, but if you win and want to win a tournament, if you want to win this cup, and you kind of know that it's an all-in game. It's an all-in game. Like, you win and you're through and you're out if you lose. I'm sorry, but you can't start with it. So, first person to blame is Mourinho. Second group of people to blame, the players. The fucking players. What was that performance? The power of underestimating a football game. You bunch of twats, clowns. The power of underestimating a football game. The players there already knew they were going to get in the final. The players yesterday already knew they were going to get in the final. Who are you to think that? You are not Real Madrid. You're not Liverpool. You're not Man United. You cannot think you're in a final before reaching a final. There wasn't one player. You see, there wasn't one player which saved themselves yesterday. One single player. Every single player yesterday was dog shit. Kumbula. Kumbula, we paid 26 million for Kumbula, and I swear to God, my grandfather can stop the ball better than Kumbula. What the hell is Kumbula doing? These are the moments, these are the games, these are the mistakes which make me want to throw up. Kumbula. What the hell was Kumbula doing yesterday? And to be honest with you, our entire defense, what was our defense doing yesterday? I am very fond to the point that if we had Hagrid from Harry Potter and Stevie Wonder as the two centre-backs, we would have conceded less goals yesterday. And yes, one of the two which I named is a blind person. What was our defence? Ibanez looked like a pigeon. Ibanez looked like a pigeon. Like a pigeon, you know pigeons looking around, nothing to do. What was that? What was that? Chilik is useless. Chilik is useless. Chilik is another example of the ownerships wasting money. Wasting bloody money. I know we didn't spend millions and millions on Chilik. We probably spent what? I can't even remember. I don't want to even remember how much we spent for Chilik. But Chilik is another player which just useless player. He's a useless player. Chilik makes Korsdorp look like prime Roberto Carlos. Please get Korsdorp back in the team. Please. Because we cannot now try to achieve top 4, try to achieve Europa League, a good run in Europa League with Chilik. Alright, let's move on. Volpato, I'm going to start another massive parenthesis on Volpato. Volpato needs to grow up because all Volpato thinks about right now is skills. Pass the fucking ball! Pass the ball! You're not Messi! Pass the ball! Tahirovic too looked useless. Again, I'm the first one to say that these young players need time. 100%. And, after this game, I'm not going to start going, they have to be thrown out of the team. But the mistakes have to be made clear. Volpato is too... He's too, he needs to learn how to pass the ball because he doesn't. He doesn't pass the ball. Belotti, then, okay, again, Belotti's probably the one which we can blame the least, just not because he scored the goal, but at least because he tries. But he's another useless player. And, you look at the Napoli game, and the Napoli game is a massive example of how poor our squad depth is. Napoli got Osimhen out and put Simeone in, which is the equivalent of Belotti in our team, and scored a goal. We had one job. We had one fucking job. One job, and we managed to bottle it. What is this? You see, I'm mad. I don't want to be this mad, but I have to be this mad. I don't want to be negative because we were coming from a performance which made me proud. We were coming from a Napoli game which made me a proud fan, which made me like, well, okay, we can play against big teams and fight. But then you look at yesterday's game and you're like, the power of underestimating games, the power of concentration. You look at yesterday's game and you understand how important the mindset and the concentration is in every sport you play. If you go swimming, if you play tennis, if you play basketball, if you play rugby, concentration is number one thing. Because these players already knew after Cremonese knocked Napoli out, they were already like, okay, I'm into the final. No, you're not. Please. We're out of this tournament. We have to move on very quickly. We have to forget about the tournament, and we have to move on. These things happen. But the thing which I'm really pissed about is, the thing which it makes me really pissed is not even the result. It's not even the result because, sometimes these upsets happen. But it's the way we play. It's the way we play which just irritates me, because there was 65,000 people at the stadium yesterday. You cannot pull a performance like this. You just can't. That's what makes me pissed. Also the result, obviously. The result is also important because we can't lose to this team. And I know this team knocked out Napoli. I agree, but we just can't. You see, the thing which irritates me is the way we play. It's not the result. If we would have gotten thrown out on penalties, that's just unlucky. But right now, you look at yesterday's game and Cremonese gave us a football lesson. They did. They truly did. Cremonese taught us how to be humble and not over-exaggerate your objectives. Because before over-exaggerating objectives, you have to fulfill the demands of getting these objectives. It's very easy to go, okay, right, I'm in a Coppa Italia final. Okay, it's very easy for you to do that, but you have to achieve it. You don't achieve things just because you believe in things. You have to put the spirit on the pitch. You've got to put personality. And you have to avoid being pigeons on the pitch. You do. Because if we play like we played yesterday, we're not winning any game. Now, let's move on, because I'm not done with the blamings. Another person which has to be blamed, which is separate, is Pellegrini. Pellegrini is lacking the captain spirit. Pellegrini is lacking the leadership. Pellegrini does not make himself loud on the pitch. That's what a captain has to do. A captain has to make himself loud. A captain needs to make, we concede an early goal, we're going to score 3. That's what a captain has to do. I don't see Pellegrini communicate. I don't see Pellegrini speak. That's another person which has to take responsibilities. The third person which has to take responsibilities, no, actually, it's not the person. It's not the person which has to take responsibilities. But, again, I'm not blaming Zaniolo in person. Zaniolo's got nothing to do with yesterday's performance. But the Zaniolo situation has got a lot to do with yesterday's performance. Because this is the problem if all of these inner problems get shared to the media. The reality of everything is, it's exactly this. And, we've had an example after Korsdorp, which, by the way, I'm reading that Korsdorp is now slowly recommunicating with Mourinho, and on Saturday he should get a call-up. But the problem when you make these problems out loud and so that everyone knows them is that it creates a bad influence to the team. Again, I'm not trying to say that the Zaniolo situation is the key problem to yesterday's performance. I'm not trying to say the referee was the problem yesterday. All I'm trying to say is that we were dickheads. We were morons. We stabbed ourselves because we could have easily won that game. But it's the concentration which lacks. If you're not concentrated, you're not going anywhere. And that's why I'm mad. That's why I'm not even mad. I'm irritated. I'm irritated because we had one job to do and we bottled this job. But we have to move on. The reality is we have to move on. We're playing on Saturday. Again, please someone explain to me why we, who play the Coppa Italia, have to be the first ones who play on the weekend. Bullshit. But, we have to move on. We have to forget about this. The boos at the stadium yesterday were well deserved. And we have to move on. But the big fear, the big fear of everything is I'm not saying this will happen, but something which could happen, which we have to avoid by all costs, is what happened to Milan. Because you look at the Milan crisis right now, how did that Milan crisis start? That Milan crisis started because they got thrown out by Torino in the Coppa Italia. Let's forget about this game. It's done. We can't do anything about it. We're out of it. When are we ever going to get a more clear chance to get in a final ever again? Because luck was really on our side of this season, but we decided to bottle it. When will there ever be a year again when both Milan and Napoli get thrown out? I don't know. Problem is, luck was on our side this season. We've decided to not be concentrated. Now, you see, it's so important to move on, because what a big team now does is react to this. Against Empoli on Saturday, I don't think people realize how brutal of a game it will be. How brutal game it will be. At home on Saturday against Empoli is going to be another brutal game. One, because we're coming from this bad influence. 2, because we only have 3 days to recover from it. 3, because Empoli and Cremonese are very similar sides in a way that they're gonna park the bus and they're gonna hit us on counterattacks. It's gonna be another bad game, but we have to react. We have to react, because what a team now does is it reacts. I'm just irritated. Again, I'm not gonna drag this any further, just because. And again, another funny thing yesterday to make things even worse. I was sitting, and I had this old man in front of me. Yes, if you're watching, you're an old man. You're an old man. We're like at the 70th minute. I got mad. Every time we lost the ball, I started shouting. I had this man, old man, in front of me, who, after the 7th time that I shouted in front of his ear, turned around and went, "Shut up! You're breaking my tympan! You're breaking my ear!" Stick that up your ass if you're watching this. Stick that up your ass. You're at the stadium, mate. What do you expect? Chopin music to go all around. Fuck off if you're watching it. You old man. You're an old man, you know. You're an old man if you're watching. You're not even young. You're done. You're an old man. So, it's done. It's done. We're out of the Coppa Italia. We now have, the big objective is top 4. Again, I think Europa League is more of a make this season a prestigious season rather than trying to win it. It would be great to win it. Are we gonna win it? No, we're not. The big focus is top 4. Top 4 is the priority right now. The Europa League run is important because it can make the club more prestigious, but at the same time, we have to focus on top 4. And there is no time to waste. In 3 days, we're back at the Olimpico against a tough side who upsetted Inter at San Siro, who bagged the draw at the Olimpico against Lazio. They're a tough team to face. And it's not the best of moments that we're living. In fact, it was a good moment. But then, after this performance yesterday, we could suffer. We are going to suffer. We have to react. We just have to react. There is no time. There is no time left. There is no time left. This is the part of the season where if you're not concentrated, you're going to lose points. And if you lose points right now, you're never going to catch up. We're very, very close. You look at the table right now and it says we're 6th. But everyone is there. We just need a few teams to slip up. We've got the Milan derby. We have to take advantage of the Saturday game. And we're back in a great position. These matches happen in football. Upsets happens. Imagine the world of football, how boring it would be if there wouldn't be any upsets. And it's, again, as I repeat, it's not the upset which makes me irritated. As much as it is, because, due to the fact that we lost, now we're out. But it's not that, because upsets happen. Once in a while, you get thrown out by these little teams. The problem is, one thing is getting thrown out because you were unlucky, because you dominated, because you were a better team. And the other thing is being thrown out by the last team in the league when you show no personality and spirit. And that is really what makes me kiss my balls. Because that shows no respect to fans. That shows no respect to the club. That shows no respect to the jersey you're wearing. But at the same time, you see, in the space of 3 days, we've seen two very, 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 very different extremes. One extreme is that if we're not concentrated, we have the power of losing every game. And the other extreme is, if we're concentrated, we have the power to win every game. Because against Napoli, we were a concentrated side. And if we play like that, we can win against everyone. If we play like we did yesterday, we're not going to win against anyone. We have to move on from here. Again, it sucks. I know it sucks. I'll be the first one to say that this sucks. This sucks because we had an open path to reach that final. And by the way, if any players are watching this, you just know that if you got thrown out of the Coppa Italia and Lazio win the tournament, you're going to make my summer be shit. Because everyone is going to mock us. So you just know, okay, you got thrown out of the Coppa Italia. But the second Lazio lift that trophy, You are morons. Tonight, I never in a million years would have actually thought to say this, but Juventus, hopefully you're going to batter Lazio. And again, another thing which I'll say, I've heard people say that Roma got thrown out of the Coppa Italia because they didn't want to be in the Coppa Italia. Ma che? We didn't want to be in the Coppa Italia. We lost that game because we weren't concentrated, okay? So stop throwing all these... No, I'm not directed to you, but I've heard people on the radio, journalists say, oh, Roma got thrown out of the Coppa Italia because they weren't interested in it and they wanted to prioritize top 4. Ma che cazzo dici? Thrown out of the Coppa Italia because you don't care about it. This was most probably the only trophy we could have won this season. So, it sucks. Let's remain calm, even though it's tempting to be irritated. In fact, everyone here will be irritated. But let's remain faithful. Top 4 is going to be a massive objective. I'm going to go live tonight, most probably, for another stream talking about that Zaniolo situation. The letter Zaniolo made as an apology to Roma. So we're gonna definitely speak about that. But let's just be united. Let's not make the team. Let's not crumble the team apart. But it sucks. At the end of the day, it does suck. The reality of football. The power of underestimating football games. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you in a bit. I know it sucks. We'll get through it. I'm sure we'll get through it. And we need a win on Saturday. So I'm going to catch you tonight. If you haven't already, please make sure to smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Share the link of this channel with your families and friends. Please make them subscribe. If you're new here, if you're watching this, please subscribe. And yeah. Smash the like button. Please do it before leaving the stream. If it takes 2 seconds, free of cost, supports me a lot. So please smash the like button, and I'll catch you in a bit. We remain united, but yeah, it sucks. It really does suck. But I'll catch you soon. Simon out.